stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money's coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a money magnet. Money's coming to me.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grandy.
I believe that Chair Yellen's performance so far has been nonpartisan, admirable, and has proven that she is more than capable of navigating these difficult waters and guiding the U.S. economy back to robust economic growth. So I am disturbed by anyone who suggests that Chair Yellen is somehow acting politically. Nothing could be further from the truth.
Wow. Hello and good afternoon. Welcome to the Phil's Gang radio show, coast to coast, the off the Wall Street Radio Network. Pardon me. Mr. Phil Grandy is on vacation and will return Monday, October the 3rd. The Phil's Gang technical department is filling in for Phil, so you are joined by JR.
Hello.
Steve.
Good afternoon, gang.
And my name is Alex. The first clip we just played in the beginning of the show is Caroline Maloney. Pardon me, I almost mispronounced her last name with a B instead of an M. A U.S. representative for New York's 12th Congressional District and a member, of course, of the Democratic Party. And she mentions that Yellen is doing an awesome job. Okay, but not verbatim, word from word. She's doing an awesome job, and she needs they need someone to take us through these rough waters. I mean, how are you going to say rough waters? We're on a sinking ship. I don't understand
the Titanic.
Absolutely, I don't understand how she's giving lip service to this woman, and nothing is political with Yellen, is it?
Well, no, and but you have to remember that you have to think about it. And Craig Roberts touched on this on yesterday's show. Who appoints the Fed chair?
Well, of course, the president does.
So, also, at the same token, who can remove the Fed chair?
Well, we know who that is as well.
So, who does the Fed chair work for?
Mr. President.
Okay, so how is that at all not political?
Well, and she's telling Donald Trump to stop accusing her of being political or the Fed having to do anything with politics.
The Fed gives them an awful lot of money for government projects. So you'd think that they would say something like that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and I'll tell you this, that the other representatives there at this 4-hour congressional hearing, they're jumping on the same bandwagon like Representative Al Green. This is what he has to say about Yellen.
Madam Chair, I believe history will be kind to you as well as to Chairman Bernanke. What you did was extraordinary in a time of great crisis. And I just don't believe those who look back, those who look through the vista of time, I don't believe that they will see these as unkind, unfair, unwanted, or imprudent things. I think that they will judge you well, and you will be treated very well by history.
Well, I haven't worked in a number of years, and I don't type and I don't take dictation, and I'm not very good at figures.
You know, I want to keep that clip right there that Representative Al Green just said about Yellen. I want to keep that for my grandkids.
Right.
And see how that sounds, say, 10, 20 years from now?
Well, actually, let's go over what the current situation is right now. This is the weakest, quote, economic recovery, unquote, since 1949. Median incomes have fallen more than 80% in the major metropolitan areas in this country since the year 2000. The rate of home ownership has fallen to every single year since Barack Obama has been in the White House. And one recent survey discovered 62% of all Americans have less than $1,000 in savings. Corporate profits have also fallen 5 quarters in a row. So what exactly and how far back are we talking? I mean, like 1,000 years, maybe 1,000 years from now, people will look back on Yellen and Bernanke because, I don't know, probably everything would be destroyed by then and say, hey, maybe they weren't so bad. But then again, nobody will remember them anyway. But, I mean, you don't have to go very far back at all to see a ton of information, actual data saying that there is nothing that these people are talking about at all that's going on.
Yeah, I agree with you. And in 1,000 years from now, I hope we have an entirely different system. I'm losing faith in this one. Al Green goes on to, speaking to Yellen at the congressional hearing. So let's give a listen to that, please.
How important is it for us to invest in infrastructure? Or maybe I should put it another way. Would infrastructure investments be helpful in promoting sound economic growth? I welcome your answer.
Well, I guess my perspective is that we've had very disappointing pace of growth in the U.S. economy, and productivity growth in output per worker has been exceptionally slow, 0.5% per year for the last 5 years, maybe twice that over the last decade, but low in historical terms.
And I don't think President Obama is going to be happy with what Yellen just said, because isn't Obama the one who put the shovel-ready plan?
Yeah, back in 2011 he did that.
Yeah, why would he be happy with what Yellen just said?
Other than getting money and giving it to the government so they can actually do what they want with it, I don't see any other benefit. I mean, we already have seen how they are with money. Whenever we try to give them money to help create jobs, it just basically gets, fluffed off to their best friends and people who got them elected, and ends up creating not even half of what usually or what they say is going to create.
And that's what happens when you put these types of jobs into the government's hands.
Right.
Say we need infrastructure. We need something worked on, like a bridge. So instead of it's very generalized. Instead of somebody going down there and making an intelligent assessment of the bridge, they say, well, no, we could fix that bridge for $1.2 billion and we will create, let's say, 10,000 jobs. Well, that's not the case. It usually ends up where they create 500 jobs. They only needed X amount of dollars, and the rest of that money just kind of poof, and it's gone.
Yeah.
So, let's play the other clip of Mulvaney, is it? Mick Mulvaney, the representative?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's play this clip, please.
My question to you is fairly simple. Is the United States Federal Reserve looking at the possibility of adding the purchase of equities to its toolbox as it looks at monetary policy?
Well, the Federal Reserve is not permitted to purchase equities. We can only purchase U.S. Treasuries and agency securities. I did mention in a speech in Jackson Hole, though, where I discussed longer-term issues and difficulties we could have in providing adequate monetary policy accommodation, maybe somewhere in the future down the line, that this is the kind of thing that Congress might consider. But if you were to do so, it's not something that the Federal Reserve is asking for.
All right, so in other words, all over the world and in Europe and in Asia, the Federal Reserves have been buying companies, stocks of companies, to prop up the market. In this country, currently, it's illegal for the Federal Reserve to do such things. And she's saying that she doesn't necessarily see that on the horizon. However, she has brought it up in the past. We'll have to continue more on this when we get back from break.
Absolutely. And if you want to know what we do here, go to philsgang.com or give us a call, 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. We'll be right back.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. Phil Grandy is a career businessman who has also been an entrepreneur all his life. He has used his business skills to take companies on the abyss of bankruptcy and bringing them back to profitability. Phil has been honored by Inc. magazine for the 500 fastest growing privately held companies and has been recognized with a prestigious Entrepreneur of the Year award. From the real estate to gas and oil industries to the stock market, Phil Grandy has mastered his line of business from start to finish. And with a passion and desire to make you a profitable investor, only Phil teaches you and guides you to make informed, unemotional investment decisions. And you'll gain the knowledge of what Wall Street doesn't want you to know. If you want to learn from the best and strengthen your ability to invest, then turn to Phil Grandy and philsgang.com. Simply call Phil's Gang at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Or go to philsgang.com.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy, philsgang.com. You know, most people get involved with a 401k because of the employer match. They really believe that there's free money. There's no free money. It's a scam. Here's how it works. You ever notice that you can't get the money all at once? Why not? Why don't they just give you the match all at once? Why over 6 years? Because they know only 12% of the people who work for a company stay for 6 years or more. Only 12% are there for 6 years. That's why they plugged it to 6 years. They know you're not going to stay. So it's not for your benefit. It's for the benefit of the company. It's a scam. There's an alternative, though. Phil's Gang. Join my gang. philsgang.com. philsgang.com.
Find out more at philsgang.com, philsgang.com, or call 877-600-4264, 877-600-4264, 877-600-4264, 877-600-4264. Are you ready to get serious about your financial future? You know, reduce your debt, pay off those student loans, and prepare for retirement. Taking control of your finances can be intimidating, but with philsgang.com, you will be educated and guided to make smart investment decisions in the stock market. If the market is up or down, philsgang.com is the only source where you'll learn how to trade stocks and how to invest in the stock market using professional-level skills and strategies. For more information, go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. You hear me talk about 401ks every day on my radio show. Why? Because it's such a disservice. 89 million Americans have a 401k. There's 638,000 plans. And the father of the 401k, Ted Brenner, even admitted they're a scam. He doesn't endorse them anymore because of the ridiculous fees. You got to get away from those fees. Remember, every 1% fee, they take 30% of your retirement money. The average fund is 2.5%. 60% of the money is going to be gone when you're ready to retire. You don't need to do that. There's an alternative. Join my gang, philsgang.com. philsgang.com. Seek out the alternative. Give yourself a break. philsgang.com. Sign up today.
Find out more at philsgang.com, philsgang.com, or call 877-600-4264, 877-600-4264, 877-600-4264.
As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
At St. Jude, a family never sees a bill at all. It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders.
The treatment doesn't get any better than what you receive at St. Jude. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures. Saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy, philsgang.com. You know, most people get involved with a 401k because of the employer match. They really believe that there's free money. There's no free money. It's a scam. Here's how it works. You ever notice that you can't get the money all at once? Why not? Why don't they just give you the match all at once? Why over 6 years? Because they know only 12% of the people who work for a company stay for 6 years or more. Only 12% are there for 6 years. That's why they plugged it to 6 years. They know you're not going to stay. So it's not for your benefit. It's for the benefit of the company. It's a scam. There's an alternative, though. Phil's Gang. Join my gang. philsgang.com. philsgang.com.
Find out more at philsgang.com, philsgang.com, or call 877-600-4264, 877-600-4264, 877-600-4264, 877-600-4264. Put your money to work. Make your investments pay. Listen to Phil Grandy and philsgang.com. Now, here's Phil.
Hello and welcome back to the Phil's Gang radio show, coast to coast, the Off the Wall Street radio network. And before we went on break, JR was explaining the last clip where Representative Mick Mulvaney was talking to Yellen, asking her questions. And it's basically she's talking about how they're propping up the market, or at least alluding to. And JR, go ahead.
Mulvaney was talking about how they're doing it overseas. They're doing a lot of buying stocks from corporations. They're Fed banks. Remember, there's Fed banks in every country except for a handful. Those Fed banks are buying up actual company stock and then holding that to prop up the stock market in whatever country. And she was asked whether or not she was going to do that here and gave a roundabout question about, well, no, we're not really going to do it here. It's illegal, but we did talk about maybe doing it if, something happened.
Hint.
So really right now she says that she's not, and technically it is illegal for the Fed in this country to buy securities from actual companies. But she did not at all say that that's not part of what's on the table. In fact, she said that they might do it going into another crisis that may be added to their toolbox. Now, the problem with that being is that if that were to happen, it would almost take the stock market completely out of everyone's hands completely. And there would be just one buyer for stocks. And if you think that the market's rigged now, it would be much, much worse. Much worse if the Fed were allowed to actually buy the stocks. It's incredible. Yeah. But all that being said, let's go to our Stock Corner.
Stock Corner is brought to you by the Phil's Gang Max Investor 1000 Stock Charts.
And if you want to learn more about how to trade stocks, you can always join Phil's Gang. That's philsgang.com, or give us a call here, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. I'd like to start out with this cut from Kramer.
I'd like your opinion on Lumentum Holdings, LITE.
Yeah, this is a red-hot stock, and I've got to tell you, look, it's a telecommunications play that I like.
All right, so he's talking about LITE, and if I put that up on my charts, I can already see LITE has gone up 47%. Key words in what Kramer was saying, by the way, is it's a red-hot stock. Whenever you hear that, think about buying a nice suit at JCPenney's or Sears.
Yeah,
right?
It looks like you should have got into this one back in July, right, JR?
Absolutely. So think about it as buying that suit for $100. And then going outside of JCPenney's or Sears and putting it on sale for $250. See how many buyers you'll get. So you don't necessarily want to buy stocks that have already moved 47%. You want to buy the stocks that haven't moved 47%, because by the time they've moved 47%, you got people like Kramer who run their funds and need to get out to take profits. Now, they don't want to get out and take profits and end up losing money, right? So they want you to come and buy the stock that's already moved 47% so they can hold that price up. So they don't end up selling themselves into oblivion. There's enough people in there holding the bag, so to say, that it doesn't collapse in on them as the big hedge funds and the big banks and so on exit stage right. And that's what he's doing there with LITE. I mean, it may continue to go up a little bit more, but I mean, after 47%, how much further do you think it'll go? I mean, it's just like anything else. How much higher do you think they're willing to pay for a stock? And then here's another one. We got BEAV.
Hey, I'm talking about BE Aerospace. I did a little fundamental research.
Yeah, no, I do like it. Now, it did have a couple of bad quarters, and it did try to, at one point, sell itself. I have to tell you, I do like it, but let's be a little bit careful.
You should be a little bit careful indeed. BEAV is in no way, shape, or form a long stock. I mean, it's made a new lower high, and unless it can break out past its previous highs around $52, it can just go right back up to $52 and then sell right back off. So BEAV, again, one of those stocks that they're taking profits in, and they're going to want you to help them get out. All this can be easily seen on our charts. If you want more information in regards to those charts, you can always give us a call, 877-600-4264 or 877-600-GANG. You can also join us at our webpage at philsgang.com, where you can watch and trade along with us. It's all recorded. Everything is there. You can see it. It's all archived for a whole week, so you'll always have the information, as well as you can always ask questions during our live class in the morning. You can email me throughout the day if you have questions on your stocks. I'll be glad to help you. But again, it's not what these guys say, especially when they're talking about hot stocks that have moved already 47%. It's not about where the stock's moved. It's about whether or not the big guys are actually putting money in the stock. Are they taking money out of the stock? What are they doing with the stock? The big money, not what Kramer says and what all the fundamentals are. That market has been dead for a long time. It's no longer about fundamentals. Fundamentals are obsolete because now we don't have a fundamental market. We don't have price discovery in the market. We have banks getting money for zero, buying stocks. We have companies and people, CEOs, buying shares back to make their stock look better so they can report good earnings. That's not something you're going to want to trade fundamentals in, not in that type of a market, nowhere near. So what you need to do is watch the charts, learn how to read the charts, and follow the big money. What are they doing? You'll be able to see all that, and we'll teach you how to do it here at Phil's Gang.
Yeah, on the MV2 charts, we're also giving those away free for the first month if you join the gang. So just go to philsgang.com, click Join the Gang Now. That's www.philsgang.com, where we'll be happy to help you get going with your financial future.
So give us a call, 877-600-GANG. That is 877-600-4264. Hang tight. We'll be right back.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Do you invest in a 401k or an IRA? Did you know you could lose 30, 40, even 50% of your investments when the market crashes? It's time you take control of your investments. For over 15 years, philsgang.com's Phil Grandy has been teaching, coaching, and investing right along with all Phil's Gang members, making profits when the market is up or down. philsgang.com posts daily market updates, has a live investing class, and all material is archived. Sounds too good to be true? Why not join thousands of satisfied Phil's Gang customers today? Go to philsgang.com, philsgang.com, or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. 877-600-4264.
For more information, simply go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264.
philsgang.com.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. You hear me talk about 401ks every day on my radio show. Why? Because it's such a disservice. 89 million Americans have a 401k. There's 638,000 plans. And the father of the 401k, Ted Brenner, even admitted they're a scam. He doesn't endorse them anymore because of the ridiculous fees. You got to get away from those fees. Remember, every 1% fee, they take 30% of your retirement money. The average fund is 2.5%. 60% of the money is going to be gone when you're ready to retire. You don't need to do that. There's an alternative. Join my gang, philsgang.com. philsgang.com. Seek out the alternative. Give yourself a break. philsgang.com. Sign up today.
Find out more at philsgang.com, philsgang.com, or call 877-600-4264, 877-600-4264, 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. You know, most people get involved with a 401k because of the employer match. They really believe that there's free money. There's no free money. It's a scam. Here's how it works. You ever notice that you can't get the money all at once? Why not? Why don't they just give you the match all at once? Why over 6 years? Because they know only 12% of the people who work for a company stay for 6 years or more. Only 12% are there for 6 years. That's why they plugged it to 6 years. They know you're not going to stay. So it's not for your benefit. It's for the benefit of the company. It's a scam. There's an alternative, though. Phil's Gang. Join my gang. philsgang.com. philsgang.com.
Find out more at philsgang.com, philsgang.com, or call 877-600-4264, 877-600-4264, 877-600-4264, 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy of philsgang.com. We're a teaching format, and boy, do we give good service. You know, buying a stock doesn't have to be complicated. The reason why Wall Street makes it complicated, so to make you think you need to hire them. You can do better without them, believe me, because you're not going to have those big fees. Come to Phil's Gang, where we'll show you an easy way to buy a stock. philsgang.com, where we don't make it complicated, but profitable.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call. That's 877-600-4264.
As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
El que San Jude no cobra ni un centavo para nosotros significa quitarnos todo ese estrés, esa preocupación y podernos enfocar en nuestra hija.
That was the first thing I was like, how are we going to do this? When St. Jude told us that we didn't have to pay a single bill, I was like, wow. They pretty much have saved us.
It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders, and now your focus is supporting this child.
There is not another hospital like St. Jude. The patient care is unmatchable. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy of philsgang.com. You know, there's nothing worse than you're investing in a stock and during the day something happens and you don't know what to do. You don't know who to call. Or you call somebody and they just give you a bunch of BS. Not here at Phil's Gang. We value every gang member. During the day, you got a question about your stock, you contact us. We have the best service in the world. philsgang.com. You're not alone. You're a gang member.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call. That's 877-600-4264. You're listening to The Phil's Gang Show with Phil Grandy. Be sure to check out the all-new Phil's Gang website at philsgang.com.
And welcome back to the Phil's Gang Radio Show. Once again, you're joined by JR, Steve, and my name is Alex. And through this 4-hour congressional hearing with Miss Janet Yellen, it seems that one of the representatives there, Steve Piercy, seemed to be the only, how should I say, I don't want to say competent guy in the room, but he seemed to be the only guy that, he wanted to bring up valid points to Yellen and actually criticize her for the job that she's doing and also how the Fed is doing. I'm going to go ahead and play this clip for you. And by the way, he's a Republican. And you can see how he approaches Yellen as a Republican versus a Democrat.
Now, when I'm looking back through through the 2008 crisis, I noticed that your balance sheet jumped from about $900 billion to 2.2 or something like that. What was the reason your balance sheet jumped during that period of time?
Primarily because we engaged in a program of purchasing long-term assets, both U.S. Treasury securities.
Sure, you got assets from the banks who were having problems and kind of stabilized the banks, so you built.
No, we didn't. We didn't buy assets from the banks.
You bought assets from maybe Fannie or somebody. You bought MBS, right? You had mortgage-backed securities that you're purchasing that might have been toxic.
Well, I don't know that they were toxic. They were, they were put in receivership by the U.S. government. And
the general perception is they were toxic. Okay, all right, that's fine.
I like how he says, okay, yeah, you can stop there, that's fine. And you wanted to, JR, do you want to hit some of this stuff?
Yeah. Couple of points. If you noticed what she said in response to mortgage-backed securities that were toxic, instantly she was on the defensive saying, oh, we don't know that they were toxic. The reason they don't know that they were toxic was because they rewrote the laws for the banks. If you recall, we went from mark to model to mark to market to mark to model. Back before the crisis in 2009 and 2008, when you actually had a security, some form of loan that was sliced and diced and sent out, which should never have happened, by the way, but was sent out, it was dictated by the market what that price should be. Mm-hmm. So if you had a loan, or you had 100 loans that were worth X amount of dollars, it was because those people were paying their mortgage. So it was all mortgage-backed securities. Mm-hmm. That means that as long as they paid their mortgage, they were good. Of course, Buffett's company, Moody's, stamped all these AAAs, which is what shields her and enables her the ability to say, oh, we're not sure. They were backed. Well, yeah, they were backed by the same people who created them, or who helped created them, who helped got that money in their back pocket. That's why they were backed. What she should have said was, they were put into receivership. She did say that, but she made it seem like they weren't as bad as they were. They really are bad because of the mark to model. Mark to model means that so that mortgage didn't pan out. They're not paying their mortgage. Now, instead of $100,000, it's worth about $15,000. So what we did, I don't know why, but we thought it would be a good idea, was we went to mark to model so the banks could then take that $15,000, which would have been a loss on their books, write it back up to $100,000 and hand it back to the Fed. And that's what happened.
Yeah, and Representative Piercy, he's questioning the Fed's balance sheet. He's actually questioning, and then he even goes on to address Yellen, hey, maybe this is incorrect.
So it just looks like that things aren't quite as stable. Maybe there are underlying problems. Maybe there are bubble prices. And remember that the housing market began as a bubble problem, stimulated by government policy. And so to have everybody sort of looking the other way and saying everything is good, well, and then I look at your asset, you typically increase. I just looked the fact that your balance sheet is now up to $4 trillion so you've almost doubled in the last 4 or 5 years. So you're continuing to buy something, and generally, if the market, and then I look at the debt. So Puerto Rico has got a roughly 76% debt to GDP ratio, and ours is 1-to-1. I'm sorry, but I think somebody ought to be talking about stability of the financial market in the United States, because it looks desperately unstable.
Yeah, and he's absolutely right. It is desperately unstable, and Yellen just doesn't get it.
What is he talking about, corporate bonds or what?
So it's unbelievable to me, the level of responsibility, the lack of responsibility.
Incompetence.
Absolutely. Really, and it's funny because is it they actually know what they're doing, or is it truly incompetence?
I think, and this is my own personal opinion, that it's not incompetence. I think they know exactly what they're doing. I think that they were put there by people. Obama's the one who appointed Yellen, saying that she knows exactly what to do to fix the economy. So far, we have seen nothing of the sort.
Well, remember, Obama knew what to do, too, and look what we got out of that.
Salandra, just like Clinton just said recently in regards to her, what was it, 500 million solar panels she wants to put up everywhere? Yeah, that worked out great the first time it was tried.
Yeah, even Donald Trump said that, when they invested all that money into the solar company or the solar businesses, they lost miserably.
Yes.
So I get it, and most of us do, and it's starting to come out. It truly is, especially when Yellen is.
What is he talking about, corporate bonds or what?
And he was talking about the expansion of her balance sheet, and a lot of that expansion has to do with them giving money to banks still to buy stocks to prop up the market, them giving money to corporations so CEOs can run right out there and buy all their shares before they report earnings. So when they go and report earnings, oh, look, I'm doing great. Look, my stock goes up. Oh, yeah. Well, they don't tell you that their stock's going up because there's less of it out there. There's physically less. So supply and demand is a factor. When you have less stocks available to buy, those stocks that are left naturally go up in value. They know this. They're not going to let you know that, though, on the Fed. They don't want you to think about that because that would imply that we don't really have what they say we have, which is a strong, robust economy, and we're going to raise rates and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, that's kind of like Mr. Stump, the CEO of Wells Fargo. He was being questioned today, and he bought a ton of his stocks. And when he heard they went sour, he sold all his stock. He made money off of his stocks, and then he sold his stocks to make more money. Am I correct?
Yes, and that's a normal play for CEOs after the first Clinton administration rewrote the way that they got compensated. Back in those times, there was a lot of CEOs ditching their companies, going to work for other companies, and Clinton thought it would be a good idea to tie them to the stock price so maybe they'd stay a little bit longer. Unfortunately, that opened up the door to what we have now, to where they're just buying their own stock and simply letting their companies die on the vine as far as research and development is concerned, as far as people plowing money, the corporation plowing money in for more training, for better employees and associates, more research and development so they can build more products and be more efficient. None of that's happening anymore.
Well, absolutely, and I think we're learning that it's difficult to keep these CEOs and these other people in question on the level with the stock market. But I know here at Phil's Gang, we can definitely help you be level on the market. Go to www.philsgang.com and check the website out. See what we do. And by all means, if you have any questions, we're here for you. Our gang members, as Phil says, you're a gang member. We're going to be with you every step of the way. Okay, we're going to help you no matter what. So give us a call, 877-600-GANG-4264, and check out the website, philsgang.com. And, I think it's one of the best things that I've ever seen, that I've ever gotten into this training platform. So, go there, join the gang, and we'll sign you up for the MV2 software for 4 weeks for free. We'll be right back.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Do you invest in a 401k or an IRA? Did you know you could lose 30, 40, even 50% of your investments when the market crashes? It's time you take control of your investments. For over 15 years, philsgang.com's Phil Grandy has been teaching, coaching, and investing right along with all Phil's Gang members, making profits when the market is up or down. philsgang.com posts daily market updates, has a live investing class, and all material is archived. Sounds too good to be true? Why not join thousands of satisfied Phil's Gang customers today? Go to philsgang.com, philsgang.com, or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. 877-600-4264.
For more information, simply go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264.
philsgang.com.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. There's nothing worse than you're investing in a stock and during the day something happens and you don't know what to do. You don't know who to call. Or you call somebody and they just give you a bunch of BS. Not here at Phil's Gang. We value every gang member. During the day, you got a question about your stock, you contact us. We have the best service in the world. philsgang.com. You're not alone. You're a gang member.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call. That's 877-600-4264. Phil Grandy is a career businessman who has also been an entrepreneur all his life. He has used his business skills to take companies on the abyss of bankruptcy and bringing them back to profitability. Phil has been honored by Inc. magazine for the 500 fastest growing privately held companies and has been recognized with the prestigious Entrepreneur of the Year award. From the real estate to gas and oil industries to the stock market, Phil Grandy has mastered his line of business from start to finish. And with a passion and desire to make you a profitable investor, only Phil teaches you and guides you to make informed, unemotional investment decisions, and you'll gain the knowledge of what Wall Street doesn't want you to know. If you want to learn from the best and strengthen your ability to invest, then turn to Phil Grandy and philsgang.com. Simply call Phil's Gang at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Or go to philsgang.com.
As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
At St. Jude, a family never sees a bill at all. It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders.
The treatment doesn't get any better than what you receive at St. Jude. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Do you invest in a 401k or an IRA? Did you know you could lose 30, 40, even 50% of your investments when the market crashes? It's time you take control of your investments. For over 15 years, philsgang.com's Phil Grandy has been teaching, coaching, and investing right along with all Phil's Gang members, making profits when the market is up or down. philsgang.com posts daily market updates, has a live investing class, and all material is archived. Sounds too good to be true? Why not join thousands of satisfied Phil's Gang customers today? Go to philsgang.com, philsgang.com, or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. 877-600-4264.
For more information, simply go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264.
philsgang.com.
Welcome back. Looking for insights and investing information? Join Phil Grandy and become a Phil's Gang member today. For more information, go to philsgang.com.
We were told by our friends across the aisle, who I would argue opened up their cabinets, their file cabinets, and dumped in every wish bag issue that they had for probably a decade. But they made a promise to the American people that when they passed that bill, they would be ending too big to fail. Because people were concerned not just about the economy, but the fact that the taxpayer, their money was going to bail out large financial institutions. Do you agree now, almost a decade on, that we have ended too big to fail?
Well, I think we've taken very significant steps toward...
No. Madam Chair, that's not my question. We were promised that we would end too big to fail. I wasn't here. That they would end too big to fail. So I think the American people have a right to know what you think. Have we ended too big to fail? Yes or no?
So, as I said, I think too big to fail is a less significant problem now than it was before.
So you're saying it's still a problem? We haven't eradicated the threat, have we? Too big to fail still exists. Yes?
I think we've made very important and meaningful strides toward ending it.
Madam Chair, these are simple questions.
I'm sorry, I don't think it's a black or white thing.
Oh, my. Why isn't it a black and white thing? Welcome back to the Phil's Gang radio show. That is Representative Duffy pushing for Yellen to tell the American people, hey, didn't you say this was too big to fail? And now she's avoiding that whole situation. She doesn't want to say it's too big to fail because she knows it's going in the exact opposite direction that she said it would in the beginning. I mean, how about you guys? How do you feel about this?
I think that what she did right there speaks volumes. I mean, if you eradicated the problem, and you know that they eradicated the problem, which we all here know that they didn't. They just shoved it underneath the rug and kicked that can right down the road, hoping that nobody will see them do it. Then you would instantly have said, yes, it's gone. We have nothing to worry about. There's no problem. You wouldn't say, well, it's less of an issue right now. You would say, no, it's been dealt with. We've already handled it. It's no longer an issue. You wouldn't be beating around the bush trying to say it's not an issue anymore without actually saying that it is an issue.
Well, if it wasn't an issue, we wouldn't even be talking about it.
Exactly. Exactly. It's a serious issue. It's definitely here to stay. The previous Congress, before Representative Pierce went in, didn't do anything, or actually that was Duffy, rather, didn't do anything to fix anything other than wipe out the little banks. That's really all that Dodd-Frank did. Dodd-Frank just basically put in a ton of regulations that all the little banks couldn't really afford. Kind of a, whoops, we didn't mean to do that. Right, sure you didn't. But all the big institutions could easily afford with their army of lawyers and their billions of dollars. So really the only thing that Dodd-Frank really accomplished was the just complete consolidation of all the little banks into these huge banks, and that's really all that happened.
Well, Steve, you and I were kind of discussing this during break, and you brought up an extremely valid point. Go ahead and reiterate on that, please. Where they were cutting it up. It needs to be cut up.
The senator this morning on TV was talking about how he was basically saying first we were too big to fail, and now we're too big to jail. What next? And he thinks that we need to start breaking these banks up.
Let's find out what Jack Lew has to say on the subject.
We in the United States had a serious structural problem with a broken financial system. We dealt with it decisively. We fixed our financial system. Our financial system went from causing a global financial crisis to being seen as the one that's now the safest and soundest in the world.
Does this guy live in the United States or even on this planet?
He lives in a giant ivory tower, comes out of his house, gets in a limousine, and then goes to another ivory tower. These people, they don't buy anything. They don't know what reality is anymore.
Well, how did we fix anything?
We didn't.
Oh, I see. So this guy is just blowing smoke then.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you think about it, American families in the middle 20% of income are now earn less money than they did before Obama first entered the White House. 20% of the income sales have lower net worth than they did the day Obama took office. I mean, there's just so many points. I mean, I can go on and on and on with these other problems. From 2009 to 2013, the U.S. government has spent $3.7 trillion in welfare, putting people on the dole so they really can't get any upward headroom. They're stuck on the dole. If they go out and they try to work and make more money, they just lose their little safety net that they just get. We got Obama has been in the White House for a number of Americans on food stamps has went up from 32 million to 46 million. If this was back in the 30s, there would be bread lines everywhere. But we don't see those bread lines anymore because we have the nice little EBT cards that are all electronic. So technically they're on electronic bread lines rather than back in the 30s when they would have to line up to get the bread with the plug nickel. My grandmother talked about it. A recent survey discovered that 22% of all Americans have to turn to church food for sustenance. So, I mean, where is Jack Lew talking? And how he says that we're the most strongest economy, it only looks that way because they only choose to report what they think is what they want us to see, pretty much.
Well, and you could tell by Jack Lew's comment that he doesn't live in the real world.
No.
You want to live in the real world? Go get yourself a middle-class job. Live in a middle-class a neighborhood. How about a middle-class society? Let's do that, okay? This all did start to change in 2009, and it affected my wife and I, plus my son. Thank God my wife and I own our own home now, but back then in 2009, we were renting. 2 years later, we're paying rent. Okay, $1,200 a month. 2 years later, we get a bank knocking on our door saying, hey, you guys have 1 month to get out. And I'm standing there. I don't understand. We've been paying, rent. The owner hasn't been paying the mortgage. So wow. I see us going down the same road. So that's why I don't understand why this guy, Jack Lew, says what he says. And I think that's kind of some insanity. And he has more to say.
I'm quite confident about the U.S. economy. I'm actually quite confident about the future of energy development in the U.S. economy. I think we are seeing sustained growth in the United States, and our expectation is that will continue.
Well, I'm glad he's that confident. Listen, I'm confident in the American people. Okay, we've been around a long time. We've been through things like this before. But as far as the people, the Fed and the people running our government and the people taking responsibility, which there are barely none for the financial crisis that we're in, this guy's saying we're doing good, we're fine. As Phil would say,
are you nuts?
There's just no way, and we have a long road to tow before we are okay.
Very, very much so. 62% of all Americans have less than $1,000 in savings. Most people can't even afford, and if they have some sort of an emergency, $500. So I don't.
Wow.
Again, Jack Lew, Treasury Secretary, completely off in left field, has no idea what he's saying. Either that or he does, and that means that it's just even worse than we thought, that they really don't want us to know by the time everything falls apart so they can fix it. They're so out in left field and so out of touch with reality that they really believe their own lies.
Well, it's either that or we're crazy.
I doubt that.
I agree with you, JR, but it's one of those things, like you're saying, that American people right now, the American families, okay, they got about a grand in the savings account. And I know that my son's off to college. I'm trying to help him every way, shape, or form. My wife and I together, you would think we'd make, halfway decent money. But that is just not the case. It's almost as if, now imagine, okay, that we have one child. Imagine having a family of, say you have 3 kids.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so you got mom and dad. They're both working if they're lucky. Okay. Now it's a society where the woman's working and the man's got to stay at home, or he's constantly searching for a job. Now you have 3 kids to support. What do? Well, this is what they want you to turn to the government for help. Well,
Right.
Those funds are running out as well. So we're going to try to help that family.
I'll tell you what to do, Alex. You join Phil's gang.
Absolutely.
And you learn how to read the charts and take control of your investments. And you know why we do that? We do that so we can boost our money up and help the kids at St. Jude. 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. www.philsgang.com.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a pleasure. And once again, as always, we'll see you on the charts.
You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grandy, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.